goodness, I am back. Hi friends, I am Christy. I am the Crosshatch Quilter. Today is Saturday, June 28th of 2025, and this is Flosstube number 38. I am so glad to be back here talking to you all today. It has been several months since my last video. I just didn't have any progress for a long time to show you because we had a lot of good things going on in our lives and some not so good things going on. I usually record my intro to my videos at the beginning, but I'm recording this one at the end and I'll put it at the beginning of the video because I'm worried I'm gonna cry. I had my son's bridal shower for him and his fiance since the last time that we met, and that took up a lot of space and time in my head, so I didn't stitch a lot even before that, but that was a beautiful get together. We had a great turnout, and I will insert here a picture of the quilt that I gifted Dylan and his now wife Tatum. It was very well received. They were very excited, and I'm hoping that that will be an heirloom piece for them and their kids and maybe grandkids. So I'm really excited that I got to be there for that, and it was a great turnout. I am Dylan's stepmom, or we call bonus mom, and so me and his biological mom put on the bridal shower for Tatum and Dylan. It was just so much fun. And while we were doing the bridal shower, the boys all went out to lunch, and it was just a great time. And then in between the bridal shower and the wedding, unfortunately, I got a call that Kyle had a massive heart attack at work. And he was being sent by ambulance to the local hospital near his work. So I immediately left, just the clothes on my back that I was wearing, and me and Haley got in the car and drove about 40 minutes to that hospital, where he actually, on the way, he flatlined, and they resuscitated him. They gave him chest compressions and defibrillated him, and they got him back and stabilized. Where he, at that hospital, they couldn't do anything for him there because it's not a cardiac hospital, so they had to life flight him to Salt Lake, which is about 3 hours from a 3-hour drive. Again, with the clothes on my back that we were wearing, we left to Salt Lake immediately. And then the very next day, he had emergency open heart surgery where they did a triple bypass. We're so thankful that he is still here with us. It's been rough, but we're very thankful. We're very happy. It doesn't mean that it's not hard. There's still a lot of trials and a lot of things that we've been going through. He's not been able to work, and he is just giving everything he can to getting back to healing. We've had a couple setbacks, but he is doing well, and life is starting to get back to normal a little bit, feeling a little bit more normal. I wasn't able to get a lot of stitching in for the first, while because I was a caregiver, and so I don't have as much progress to show you today, but I'm excited to be back here and to just work on getting back to a normal schedule so that we can get back to a little bit of a comforting routine in life. And that's partly sharing with you guys. I have had several of you reach out to me and ask me, hey, haven't seen you for a while, are you okay? That's what's been going on. Sorry if this is a trigger video for anybody. I've been trying to not cry, but like I said, we're very thankful that he's still here. It's been hard, but we have a little bit more, you know, stuff to do and go through, but I think that it's good. And we both have been eating healthy and exercising. He's going to physical therapy and just focusing on being healthy and thankful. I think gratitude gets you a long way in life. So having said all that and getting the emotional part out, I just had, if I didn't discuss with you what had happened, I would feel like I wasn't, I don't know, not being honest, but just, you guys are my friends, so I wanted to let you know what was going on, because I know a lot of you care about me and the community. So then 2 weeks to the day after his open heart surgery, we had our wedding, which was a little bit of a rough deal to get to, because, you know, a major surgery is a lot to travel after to do. So the wedding was 3 hours away from where we live, so I had to travel with him and take care of him, but we didn't want to miss the wedding. So I will also insert pictures of the wedding here, and it was beautiful. It was a wonderful time. Absolutely perfect weather for it. You know, sometimes those spring weathers, you don't know if you're going to have wind or rain or snow in Utah. But it was the perfect weather for that day. It was kind of a little bit cloud cover, and so it was beautiful for the pictures, and we had a wonderful time. It was very exhausting, specifically for me and Kyle, but we got home safe and sound, and that was a blessing. And then right after that, Haley had performances in her ballet. She had 3 performances 2 days in a row for Snow White. So that was also a lot of fun. And we are lucky and happy to have all those things happen in our lives. They were a lot to go through during, right after open heart surgery, but we did it and it's done now. And there'll be great memories to have in the future. I have been getting back to a routine of stitching and yard work, and when you have something like this happen, you just have so many people that love you help take care of you, which has been a wonderful blessing. So we appreciate all of the love and care and gifts and visits and help with yard work and just meals, things like that. You realize that it takes a village sometimes. So I will stop being emotional now, and we will get on to the fun things of life and talk about all my favorite subject is stitching and sewing. And I won't have to be blubbery anymore. So I hope that this video finds you all well and you have been enjoying the dog days of summer. I have 3 fully finished items to share with you today. 2 were finishes from my last video that I finally got around to fully finishing, and then I have a new finish and a fully finish. The first one is the Country Sampler Sewing Pocket by Stacy Nash. This was an exclusive through Country Sampler years ago, and I bought mine probably 4 years ago on eBay. So they're still out there in the wild, but you can no longer find it through like Country Sampler. Really sweet, very simple, very primitive. I fully finished it with a little bit of homespun, and it matches the other sewing pocket that I did last November. And it also has a turkey on it. So I believe that that's how I'm going to display them, is as sister sewing pockets. And I just love the primitive look of it. It's very simple, and it was a quick stitch, but it's just really, I don't know, I love these little sewing pockets. I'm sure that I will stitch more in my future. So I just finished it with a little homespun, and it's fun and done. So there's that one. I'm excited to be able to get that one displayed in the fall. My next finish, fully finish, is probably one of my very favorite finishes of all time, and I say that about a lot of them though, don't I? But I know you guys agree with me that Maggie May is just so sweet. I've seen many of you stitch her and fully finish her in lots of creative ways. I just did it basic as she is. And I think she is so, so sweet. I love her. She makes me smile and is just so cute. So for now, I've just finished her with fabric. I haven't done the wool heart on the back. I have her displayed in my bedroom in my Winterberry sewing or stitching case. So I don't know if I'll put the wool pocket on the wool heart pocket on her, and I still haven't fully finished the little turnip needle book yet. But I just adore her just the way she is. She just makes me smile when I look at her. She's just a little fun highlight of my day. And then my new finish and fully finish is Primrose. I had shown you that I had started this last time. I just had her outlined. And of course it's an animal cracker by Stacy Nash. Oh, she's so cute. And I have stitched her with all of the called for threads on the called for 36 count Havana linen, which she just pops beautifully on. And then I finished it with a little bit of this beautiful like rust color sari silk. I thought that it matched the Havana really well. She is so cute. When I first started filling her in, I wasn't quite sure about the called for threads because this pink is so muted comparative to the white. It didn't really have a lot of contrast, which at first I thought, well, maybe I just have a lighter dye lot than, you know, what the other ones were, but like the called for. But I just persevered, and now that she's done, I think she's perfect. It has just the right amount of contrast for her. She's so sweet. I showed it to my friend Lori, and she said it looks like she's wearing pajamas that have holes in them. And I agree. She's just so cute and sweet. So she is another accompaniment to my little stitching tray. I plan on stitching all of the bunny rabbit animal crackers. I don't know if I'll, you know, fit different animal crackers in between, but I for sure want to stitch all of the bunny rabbit ones. And I have one started. I'll show you here in a little bit. Those are super fun finishes. I wish I had more finishes behind my, under my belt for this video, but as I explained before, life has been full of ups and downs, very busy, and I'm just happy to be back here speaking to you about our favorite topic and enjoying my stitching. I've been getting back into a little bit more of a normal routine, and it has been very, very nice, very comforting to get back to my stitching and get into a routine. I think we all love a routine when you can do that. So I'm going to share with you now my whips, and I just kind of have been enjoying working on existing whips. They've been very comforting to get back to an old friend. So the one that I have been working on recently is Land That I Love by Teresa Kogut. I started this in 2023, and my goal was to get it finished in 20 months. And the end of July of this year is 20 months. So I have to get cracking. I have to get going if I'm going to meet my goal. I have it housed in my flag bag. I've made so many of these and sold them to many of you. Thank you so much. It's fun to know that a lot of you have these in your home as well. It makes me smile when I'm stitching on this piece and working on my bag, or on my project out of the bag. Words are hard. Okay, so I've got all of the called for DMC threads here. There's a couple classic colorworks in there, Blue Corn, Mariners, Compass, Chesapeake Bay, and Dolphin. Those are through Weeks and classic colorworks. Very pretty. I love that, like, just classic primitive colors that Teresa picked for this piece. And I just think that they sing on the linen that I chose. I love that mustard house. This is 36 count gray by Weeks Dye Works. And if you recall, I just had a hard time getting a linen to sing with those threads, but once I found what I wanted now, that I just absolutely love it. And when you pick up an old piece that you haven't worked on for a while, it makes you kind of wonder, why did I set this down? But alas, squirrels, right? So here we are. I have been working on this quite a bit over the last week or two. And I will insert a picture here of where I was last time. But I have been doing a little bit more of the structural parts of the home. And I had a boo-boo here on the roof, so I had to unpick that and fix that arch there, or gable, and been starting to work down there so that when I do have time on my back deck to do some stitching, it's a lot easier to just do fill in back there, so I don't have to like take, you know, my charts and stitching, my complete stitching setup back there. And I just also like to relax and enjoy the birds and the trees and the flowers. So I do a lot of looking around while I'm stitching. So fill in is like my jam when I'm back there. So I am just gonna leave those for when I have some fill in time on the back deck. And then I came up here and I finished this eagle. Oh my word, this bald eagle took me, I swear, 3 times longer than it should have. It just felt like a very, I don't know, detailed stitch. It was hard for me to read the chart and like get the pattern going, but it's done now. So, and then I did a letter or two on these letter or eyelet stitching. I decided when I was younger, dumber, and had more energy that I wanted to do eyelets for all of the alphabet. And I'm kind of wondering what I was thinking, but I have done that much now and I can't, you know, do X's on the rest. It would look funny. So I'm gonna persevere. And then I worked on this star, and I've been working on this great big arrangement here that has the bird and the flowers, and then that amazing flag that Teresa has designed. And it looks so good. It looks so real that it's like flying in the wind. So I've got a little bit left to go, quite a bit of the border. Got to do some border work, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to get it done in July or not. We'll see. But right now, that's my goal by the end of July. So I hope that I will have a finish for my next video. And I always hate when I make a plan and tell you guys about it, because I feel like that's the last thing I want to do after I tell you. But my next project that I set Land That I Love down to work on for a few days, because our friend Tara from Solely Stitches here on Flosstube and Instagram, she had started a sal that I had to join in on. And I originally had plans of starting a new piece, but I'm just kind of in the mood to just work on my whips because I have so many, I need to get them done. And her sal is to celebrate Summerween, and it's hashtag spooky summer. And I chose to work on Halloween at Hollyberry Farm by Stacy Nash. Love this piece. I started it clear back in 2019, and then I kind of questioned my linen choice, and so I sat down. I have it housed in my Fig Tree Hallows Eve fabric. Got a little witch zipper pull there. Love this fabric line with the florals. Classy and not like spooky, but just the colors of Halloween. And I am using the called for threads. There are not very many. This is a very economical project to work on. So there's the threads, and here is my progress. I will insert a picture here of where I was last time when I picked it up. And I have just been going crazy on this piece. I love it so much. So the first thing I did is I was sitting on my back deck, so I filled in the White House, and that was just comfort stitching. I love, love, love fill-in stitching. And then I started working on the border. And so I think I was about to right here on the border. So I'd do a flower and then I'd go over here and do the flower, and then I'd do the white and do the white. And so I finally got all the way back down to here, and that's where the border stops on this side, and then it will be fence. So I started to do a little bit of fence, and now I'm working on filling in this side of the chart. So there's a weeping willow tree here. I've got the bones of it in, and then the crown to match the other side where there's a crown, and the tombstone. I absolutely just enjoy working on this piece, and I love it on this linen. Oh, when I first started working on it in 2019, I have the called for linen, which I think is Rook, and my piece just wasn't what I was hoping for. I'd seen other people's, and theirs looked a little bit more like rustic and just a little bit, more like what the chart looks like. But so I'd picked up this piece of 32 count Murky by Picture This Plus and started it, and then I just kind of questioned it. But now that I've worked on it, and I'd say I'm 3/4 of the way to a finish, I just absolutely love it now. It's huge. It's gonna cost a pretty penny to get it framed, right? So I have the border over here to do and bring it all the way down. So that's still quite a bit of border. Stacy's borders are something else, but it's what just makes it look so beautiful. And then I've got the fence and some pumpkins and a little bit more work down here. So my goal is to get this finished by Halloween this year. Absolutely love that one. It feels good to finally start to maybe be close to some finishes. I have so many BAPs that I'm working on, big, awesome projects, and I just feel like sometimes I don't get as much accomplished as other people, but most people are a little bit more sane than me, and they work on smaller projects. And I think that my goal is to not start any huge, large projects for quite a while until I get quite a few finishes under my belt, and focus on, a big project and then a little small project to get in some of those finishes. So usually every month or every morning, I work on one strand a day or a couple strands a day project. And so far before this video, this year I had been doing monochromatic stitching, but since my last video, I have chosen to do my one strand a day on Merrily Merrily We Welcome Spring, because I wanted to move forward on this piece. And I'm stitching this with my good friend Lori. And we started this, well, I had a little tiny start, just a minuscule start, but we started it on the first day of spring. We officially started it on the first day of spring. And this is being housed in my Blackbird Designs bag. Matches all the colors in the project. Good old-fashioned Blackbird Designs colors. So here are the threads. They're all the called for. All the called for threads. Love, love, love. Oh, I love their color palette so much. So this is being stitched on the called for 36 count. Oh, I want to say Velt, but I know that is not correct, so I'm going to check really quick. It's Oaken by Picture This Plus. So my goal was to put in one floss a day, one thread a day, and finish the alphabet. And I accomplished that. And then I started doing a little bit of the pinks in the flowers, and I need to come down here and finish this border, and then or the bones of the border, and then fill in the border. Excuse me. I'll put a picture in here of where I was last time. So I'm happy with the progress that I made, and I really love this project. I want to get it finished, so I look forward to working on this some more. I don't have a goal of like a finish line for that one. Just give it some love. But I really enjoy that piece. Another comfort piece stitching that I just, after Kyle's heart attack, I just wanted something that was like routine, and I hadn't picked this up, I don't think, since last year. And that is Heartstring Samplery, His Eye is on the Sparrow. And you know, when you just need like comfort stitching, but your brain literally is fried and you cannot handle anymore, just routine, like the same stitching over and over and over again, comforts me and fill in. So I decided I wanted to pick up and do all of the tulips around the entire border, and I still had the greenery to do and everything. I will put a picture in here of where I started out, and I've got this housed in my barn bag by Debbie's Stitching. I always mention her, and I love her bags so much. I don't think that she is taking orders for these. So she'd announced on her Instagram that she's no longer taking orders. You'll just have to see when she has some available and snag them. So maybe put her on your notifications for Instagram. Her bags are awesome. I love them. And I am stitching it with all of the called for threads. They're the most autumnal yumminess. I think one of my very favorite reds is Mulberry by Gentle Arts. So good. Like, it just matches. Like, my home has a lot of rust colors and like goldens in it, which I know is not probably popular, but it's the colors of my house. A lot of the colors you see here in the background are throughout my house. Okay, so here is where I'm at now. And as you can see, I finished doing all of the greenery. I went through a skein of Oscar to finish the border greenery. And I did all of the tulips on both sides. And that was just comfort. Like, my brain, I had the stitching memorized and I could just go in there and fill it in. So then once I got that done, each Sunday I've picked it up and I've been starting to do the animals. So I did this deer that's laying down and this deer over here. It's so big. This piece is like a blanket. So then I started doing, I need to finish this deer. That's where I'm at. I left off. But I did quite a bit up here. I did the peacocks. I think that these are wolves, coyotes, probably coyotes. I have no idea what these two little guys are, or these llamas, maybe right there. I honestly don't know. Maybe a sheep. And then I've started working on this flower. It has a bird on it, flowers in a basket. So there's where I'm at. Absolutely love this piece so much. Again, I don't know when I'll get this done, but it's been really comforting and nice. Not just the message on the piece, but just the comfort of it. It's just a good friend to get back to. So I can see myself continuing to work on that, but also maybe not. I don't know. Right now I'm just trying to work on whips and not stick to any other rules because my mood can change in an instant right now. So I've just been working on what I feel like working on, and with no guilt. Another one that has been awesome to work on is Real Comfort. And a butterfly, a great big huge monarch butterfly just flew past my window. So this piece is massive, and I started it, I believe, the end of last November. And I've got this housed in my fig tree cinnamon and spice, I believe, or cinnamon and cream bag. Love that. So this piece was definitely, you know, just the saying on it, there's nothing like staying at home for real comfort by Jane Austen, is quite applicable right now. But I just wanted to get all of the work done on it so that I could do fill in. And so that's what I did. I spent several days. I worked on the roofs. I'll put a picture in here of where I was last time when I picked it up. And I finished the roofs, and then I worked on filling in all of the, you know, the bones of the house. So I did all of the tulips, the door, the windows, just all the framework on that. A little bit of the stars. Absolutely love it. It is just going to be massive and gorgeous, and just my favorite color palette. And here is all the called for threads. Just so yummy. These colors are my favorite. I'm stitching it with the called for threads on 36 count Sage by Victoria Motto. And this was a linen of the month club that I belonged to years ago. It's probably been about 5 years. So I don't think that you can get this piece of linen, but possibly. Sometimes they sell their linens on Etsy and eBay. I haven't checked for a really long time, so that might be outdated information. And then another routine that has been so fun to get back to, and I originally had picked up Autumn at Hawk Hollow, and every time that I picked it up, and I had made the goal last year of getting it done this year, and every time I pick it up, I just don't want to work on it. And so I decided to give myself some grace and to not worry about finishing Autumn at Hawk Hollow with a goal. I'm just going to treat my Hawk Hollows as a seasonal stitch. And that's what's been making me happy. I have quite a few going that are seasonal, and so it makes sense to me to get a block a month, a block a season done a year. And it might take me 10 years to finish these projects. I don't know. But right now, that's what's bringing me joy, and I might just pick one up and work on it for a finish eventually. But right now, as the season works for that particular piece, that's what's been bringing me joy. I have got I have Shores of Hawk Hollow, which is what I am working on right now, and I'm gonna work on that in the summer months. And then I have Halloween at Hawk Hollow that I haven't touched for so many years. I think I did start a block last year, but before that I hadn't worked on it for 4 or 5 years. I am going to pick that up and put in a block a year on that, and then put a block in a year on Autumn at Hawk Hollow, and then a block a year on Christmas at Hawk. So that might sound insane, but that's what's my plan right now. And this is the current Hawk Run that's getting some love. And it is the Shores of Hawk Hollow. I'm stitching it with all of the absolutely yummy MPI silks. They make me so happy. Oh, this project has been totally just my jam lately. I've got this in another Debbie's Stitching portfolio bag. I love it. And here is where I'm at. So I will put in a picture here of where I was last time. I finished 2 blocks. They both had been started, but had a lot of work to go still on them. This house block with a mermaid in particular was quite stitch heavy and very, very dense. So I'm stitching this with, like I said, the NPI Silks on 36 count Vintage Autumn Gold by Lakeside Linens, a piece I've had in my stash forever. So I finished this block here. This lace stitching was quite something. Just the whole block in general took, I swear, 4 times as long as I anticipated it taking. And then I just had the words done, mostly about, 3/4 of the words done on this block. So quite a bit of stitching on that 4th block there. With the moon and the stars. I love it. Love, love, love it. So that's where I'm at. I've got the first 4 blocks done. And then I am down here on this 5th block. It has, oh, there's my needle. it says "My Love at Sea," and it's got a girl here on the top of her house looking out to sea, waiting for her love. And that's where I have gotten to so far. So just the flower and a little bit of the roof and the words. It's so fun to stitch with MKI silks. Oh, it's my favorite. If only every project could be an NPI project, I'd be happy. They're just my favorite. And all of my other projects that I have to show you are starts. Big surprise, I know. The first one I started right before Kyle's heart attack and was put in the hospital, and I happened to have it in my car when I was driving to the hospital, just by chance. We were there for 6 days, and I was thankful to have something. Not that my brain could handle a whole lot, but every once in a while when he was asleep, I took a few minutes, and I mean literally a few minutes, and stitched a little bit. But I started Harrison by Stacy Nash. He is the cutest little animal cracker. I love his carrots in his bag, so I definitely intend on finishing all of his little accoutrements. And I'm stitching this on a piece of scrap that's the Sage by Victorian Motto that was just a cut off piece from Real Comfort. And so that's where I got. I had outlined his face, and so then when I was in the hospital with Kyle, I could just do a little bit of fill in. And that's where I got to. He is so cute. These are all the called for threads. I don't even have them on a floss ring, but I love his just muted, just primitive colors. He's going to be so cute with his little harem of bunnies. The other girl animal cracker bunnies. Cute, cute. So I will continue. Well, I don't know if I'm going to continue to work on him or if I'm going to pick him up in the spring. I don't know. Right now, I'm making no promises. Okay, my next start is a project that I actually ordered this in the middle of the night when Kyle was in ICU, because I'd seen that Cowslip Studios had released this project from their retreat last year. And this is Strawberry Cottage and Sewing Roll by Stacy Nash. It is as of right now, it is an exclusive to Cowslip Studios. And I ordered it. It's been since May, and I got on there last night to check to see if it's still available, and it says that it is sold out. I don't know if they're getting more. I don't know the story on that, but I was very excited to get this. I am starting this with my good friend Lori and my good friend Yvette. We all three are going to be working on it together. I just have a teeny tiny start. I have decided that I am going to dedicate this to my sweet puppy dog Gustafer that we lost last year. And when we had to put him down, I told him to go and run through strawberry fields forever. So this is the piece that I am dedicating to him. I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry about the tears. I have it housed in my strawberry bag. Many of you know that Gus was my pride and joy. My sweet dog. I'm so sorry. Lots of emotions the last couple months. And I didn't want to get on here and cry. I have the teeniest of tiniest of starts on this. It looks really splotchy and very wild on the camera, but this is a piece of 36 count Thornfield by Needle and Flax. I love Thornfield. I'm using all of the called for threads, which are all Weeks Dye Works. And I don't know if you can see. But my friend Yvette made a needle or a thread bling of Mr. Gustafer. So I've got him on there. So there's my start. This project, I don't have a goal on this one either. I'm just going to keep working on it when I want to. It's really cute, and it's kind of big. It's going to be a sewing roll, but it's big. So I love that house and the horse and the bunny rabbits in the field there. The bee skep on the bottom. Beehive. Okay, so my next project, and it's my final one that I have to share with you today. Then after that, I have some sewing to show you. But this is a project that I announced last time. Many of you have started it with Kim and I. Kim is the stay-at-home quilter on Instagram, and we are stitching Come Into My Garden tribute to Daleen Wilson, who was so grateful here on Flosstube and Instagram. And she just was a joy and a pleasure to be friends with. I miss her dearly. So I have mine housed in my French General bag. So pretty. And I don't have as much done as I would like. Kyle was still in the hospital when this stitch along actually started, so I got a late start. But when we got home and I could finally get my brain to be able to settle down a little bit and focus, I got mine started. And I'm using all of the called for threads. And I'm stitching this on 36 count antique lace by Seraphim. 36 count. All the called for threads. I love the threads on this linen. Really pretty. Very kind of rustic looking, but also it's lighter. It's a lighter linen than the called for. Daleen had stitched hers. If I can find a picture, I'll put Daleen's project in here. This is the last thing that we know she worked on, and I believe she finished it. I didn't get a final picture, but pretty close, like at least almost 3/4 of the way done. But I loved her light linen that she was stitching hers on, so I copied as close as I could to her linen choice, and I'm really pleased with it. So many of you have joined in on this with us, and we have just been enjoying it. It's a very peaceful color palette. Let's show you the other side of the colors. I love the pinks and blues and just the muted colors that are a classic Blackbird. I think that this piece will look so good hanging up on the wall next to Merrily Merrily We Welcome Spring and Anniversaries of the Heart when I get that finished. I have it like almost done. I have all the blocks except one done, and then like some over one stitching, but they'll all look good together on the wall together. Lots of projects, not enough time. Again, I'm sorry for getting a little bit emotional there. My next thing that I wanted to show you that I am working on, I've got 2 sewing projects. The first one I have been planning on doing ever since I saw that French General was coming out with a new blue fabric line, Sacre Bleu. And so I've just been waiting patiently for it to arrive, and once it did, I got out all my hexies, and I'm working on a little table mat that will be displayed in my bedroom. I have a pot of flowers there, and I've got my Winterberry stitching case and a couple of cross stitches displayed. But I wanted to have a hexie project going for it. So there will be 2 more rounds on this flower. So my next round will be cream. So that will go all the way around, and it'll be cream, and then a cream that's got the blue in it, and then another cream with the tan. So that's gonna be my next row. And then the row after that will be all of the dark blues. That'll be the final. And then there will be half a hexie So you'll cut these in half, like, and you actually cut the paper and everything before you do it, but I'll just kind of give you an idea. But it's like that, and that will be the final row, and I'll do that in cream as well, or maybe the light blue, actually. And that will finish it off into a circle, and so I can display it on my table. And I, of course, will show you when I'm done, and show you how it's displayed as well. So that is my little English paper piecing project. I haven't done an English paper piecing project for quite a few years, so this has been really fun. This is also perfect for back deck stitching because I don't have to look at a pattern. I can just go out there and stitch and then look at the trees a little and just enjoy summertime. So this has definitely been another project that the doctor has ordered. Fun, fun, and I cannot wait to get done because I'm really excited about what it's going to look like in my bedroom. I always love a good project. I have this housed in just a little like tin, so it holds all my stuff in there, and then I keep my scissors and my needles in my fig tree bag. I can't remember the name of this pattern, but it is by Fig Tree. It has fig tree fabrics on it. So there's that. That's my first sewing project. I'm hoping to have that finished maybe by next video. It's fun to get back to these videos. I've missed you guys. I've missed being in a, you know, just regular life. It's got to get back to normal. So I'm making it. I'm willing it. My next project that I've been working on is a quilt along with Fat Quarter Shop and Lori Holt of Be in My Bonnet. It's a scrappy Americana flag. Oh, I love me a good patriotic quilt. I knew immediately as soon as I saw this that I was going to sew it. There's two methods in this book. There's traditional sewing method, and then there is paper piecing. I am doing traditional sewing because I am just that kind of girl. This has been broken up into several months. So right now, Fat Quarter Shop has it designated to not finish until next year. However, I have gone ahead and sewn ahead of schedule because I needed to. I needed the therapy. These are such easy blocks. You make like 6 of each. So there's 6 reds, 6 whites, and then they make up these blocks in the flag. And then there's also plain blocks in between them. So like every other block is a pieced block and then just a solid cut piece of fabric. So that's the first month. And then the second month is these pinwheels. They're so cute. They remind me of, you know, the pinwheels that you have on the 4th of July. So those are really fun. Very easy, like I said. The instructions that Lori gives are always perfect and easy to sew. These are called diagonal stripe blocks. Super cute. There's half square triangles. And then the next block, this is one of my favorites. These are broken dishes. I love a broken dish block. I don't like broken dishes in real life, but the quilting block I love. And then the next one is just a half square large triangle stripe block. They're just half square triangles. This fabric print I absolutely love. They're all beautiful, but that one's my favorite. And then the next one is double flying geese stripe blocks. So fun to make. I love flying geese as well. And then this next one are they're mini flying geese stripe blocks. These ones took a while. These ones took a few minutes or a couple days to make because you make 6 of each block. Really pretty. And then the next blocks are square in a square stripe blocks. And that is all of the red and white blocks. other than just, you know, the solid blocks in between. So now I am on to working on the stars. So I'm gonna probably finish long before the sew along ends officially, but I really enjoyed this, and I know exactly where I'm going to display it in my home, which always helps me finish a project. If I know where it's going, I'm usually more anxious to get working on it. And then I have some Happy Mail and some therapy purchases, is what I'm going to call them. We always need a little bit of retail therapy, correct? Okay, so my first purchase, so this is from Jill Webb, who is the owner of Count on Linens. She is on Instagram and also here on Flosstube, and she is got a lovely Flosstube. So if you haven't watched it, go and check her out. But she dyes her own linen. So I had to place an order, and she sent me this really cute card. Thank you, Jill. And she sent with it some beeswax and this yummy, yummy linen. I just had to have a piece. I wanted to try her linens, and this is called Canyonlands. Very, very pretty. I look forward to getting more linen from her. It has a very nice hand and it's very beautiful. Love it. Okay, then my next retail therapy. I haven't been able to do a lot of retail therapy because, you know, Kyle is not working because he's recovering. But I had to purchase the Queen of the May, Elizabeth Stevenson, 1854. I know that all of you love her as well. She's absolutely gorgeous. She's going to look amazing on the wall next to Ann Dell, in my opinion. These swans are, mwah, love them. I ordered mine straight from Nicola because I wanted to get the extra fabric pieces that came with it. This is for a pin pillow or whatever you want to do with it. And I'm going to make a bag with this one. And it came with a card. Nicola always sends them with a card, I believe. So then, after I got my chart and I saw everyone starting it, I had FOMO really, really bad. So I went ahead and I ordered from Hobby House the 100 threes from Averswa. And I ordered a piece of 46 count Tabby Cat linen. It's called just the ticket, and it is the called for linen. Well, it's the linen that the model is stitched on. This particular piece would be pretty on a lot of different linens because it's just a very light muted linen. But so as of right now, this is what I think I'm going to stitch it on, is the 46 count, unless I test stitch it and I cannot do it, and then I'll get a piece of 40 count. We'll see. I was feeling cocky that day, I guess. So 46 is not always my jam. I do have one project that I have 46 on, and I do enjoy it, so I'm going to give it a go, and then if not, then I will destash that piece of linen. Then I have a little bit of Happy Mail. I have not asked either one of these individuals if I could show the Happy Mail, but I'm going to, and then ask for forgiveness later. The first one is, this is from my friend Kim, but it's from Daleen, who is so grateful. She made this bag and she'd gifted it to Kim, and Kim gifted it to me, which I love so much. And I am a huge, I don't know if you know this about me, I'm a huge Scrabble aficionado. I play Scrabble every day with my dad over the, over the internet, because we just play online on Word with Friends or whatever. And in this bag is an old project from Daleen that she started, and I get to finish it, which I am very, very excited about. And this is the Edenberry by Erica Michaels. And Daleen had kitted it up with all the called for threads, and they're on the little cute milk thread needle blings, or thread, you know what I'm talking about. They're so cute. And here is a Daleen's start. So she was at least halfway done. I've got to stitch Adam and Eve and some flowers and a little bit more of the apples and things, but it's pretty close to a finish. And I'm going to be really honored to have this, that will have my stitching on it and also Daylene's. So thank you. And then my next Happy Mail, it's a little bit heavy. My friend Debbie, who is Debbie's Stitching, that I spoke about earlier with the awesome portfolio bags, she was destashing some linen or some fabric, and it's Joe Morton fabric that is my all-time favorite, and I squealed when I saw it, and I am just thrilled to be the recipient of this. So I showed you my English paper piecing of the Hexies. When I get that one completed, my plan is to start an English paper piecing Hexie project for my basement with this fabric. And they're little, I think they're fat 16ths. They're fat 8ths of fabric. I'll just random Joe Morton fabrics, which are all reproduction fabrics. So I'm really excited about that and look forward to sharing my progress with you in the future on that. I haven't started it yet, but I definitely know what I'm going to make with it. So that's half the battle sometimes. Other than that, I think that I am done. Thank you for sticking with me. Thank you for, I'm sorry I've been gone for so long. I hope to be back in the end of July, and that life will be even more back to normal for us than it has already started to be. So I really enjoy this hobby, and I enjoy continuing to have relationships with all of you, my friends. Until next time, happy stitching.